Playboi Carti is a wildly successful artist who never seems to be releasing a new album, but today I'll be checking out the 3 Playboi Carti albums to figure out what the big deal is. Welcome to Music Time.
Hey. It's music time.
The first album is called Playboi Carti. Released in 2017, it's 46 minutes long with 15 songs. Let's go! After finishing the mixtape, I came out with a pretty good impression. I enjoyed listening to it, but there are some very glaring issues. Each of the songs respectively had their own general vibe and uniqueness to it. The project was very entertaining and it was very easy to digest. You can tell it was made with a lot of fun and carefreeness to it. As I began listening to it, I wasn't really getting into it. I didn't like the 2-track run of Uzi. The 3 songs after that I haven't even warmed up to yet. Uzi is completely and utterly fine. A$AP sounds incredibly bored in everything but his verse. Half and half is really repetitive and boring. The lyrical content in every song doesn't really have a lot to it. I'm aware that's not really the point of the album, to talk about any deep themes or topics, but in general the lyrics don't really reflect anything special. But overall, I had a lovely time with this album, easy to listen to, and I saved a few songs from it. I'm quite excited to listen to the next album because I'm hoping he'll be able to flesh out his sound and his style, and even his rapping. But for now, Playboi Carti is gonna get 6. Second up is Dial It. This album came out in 2018. It's an hour long with 19 tracks. Although it wasn't perfect, I believe that it lived up to the expectations. This was a big improvement on the first one. First of all, through this album I think Carti found a style, a genre, a musical voice that suits him very well. This kind of minimalist, distorted madhouse of bass and synth gives off a lot of room for creativity and energy. So on the production and instrumental side, I think this is a really, really good album, and I doubt that any of the others on this video can top it. On the more negative side, this album is much too long to be properly enjoyed in one sitting. There's a lot of fat on here that could have been trimmed and saved for more like a deluxe release, but I know I can't tell artists how to release music. Also, the raps and the bars on here haven't really improved. This music isn't really meant to be listened to with an analytical critic point of view, but still it would be nice to have some sort of a variety with the rappers rapping. So overall, Dial It is a very big improvement on the first record. I had a good time with it, but I still believe there's a lot of improvement to be made. But I still recommend it. 7. Finally, in 2020, Carti dropped Lotta Red, which is his longest album at 1 hour and 3 minutes. And in general, I believe this album is quite divisive. And it's obvious why. A bold experimental experience that really puts the listener in like another dimension and vibe, which is awesome. But that's just the idea of the album. Everything else just falls flat. Again, nothing lyrically that would keep a listener interested. The same tired topics of being high and women. Most of his songs instrumentally has the same distorted fuzz behind it. Production could really benefit off being finished. I'm not saying music can't be experimental, that's okay, that's cool. I'm just wondering why there's 4 seconds of silence in place. I don't have much else to say. I don't think this is a finished album. Other than people being on drugs and maybe his concerts, I'm really confused why this would be an enjoyable album to people. Feature-wise, you have Kanye, Cudi and Future. They barely try. There's no cohesiveness to anything. It's a draining hour to sit through. There's barely any attempts to improve on Dial It. So, it's not quite the worst thing ever conceived, but it's definitely not far off, too. Okay, all we have to do now is rank them. Playboi Carti. Now, in comparison with all the other albums on this video, I'm gonna say super good. Dial It, I think this album is a legendary album. It definitely changed a lot in rap. Essentially invented a whole genre. Lotta Red, in comparison with the other albums, I won't listen again. And that's my ranking. Alright. Next time, either Kendrick or 2024 music wrap up, we'll see. Can I find a motivation? Probably. Bye bye.